All right, I'm at the gym and I felt the need to make this video because y'all just don't seem to get it. So I'm gonna make this video in front of people. I don't really care what they think. The point of the whole thing with layouts is people need to understand that layouts do matter, but only to a certain extent. The layouts are basically going to determine how the ball goes through the pins. It has nothing to do with how the ball is going to react in the front unless you do like a major difference or the extremes in the layout. So we're talking, a 1-inch pin or a 6-inch pin. You all know that 3 3/8 is max flare. Everything as you go above that changes things just a little bit. All we're talking about is flare. So when it comes to layouts, if I do 3 3/8 pin or let's call it a 5.5-inch pin, the only difference you're going to see are maybe inches in the front, in the middle part of the lane. We're not talking a major difference. What we're talking about is how the ball goes through the pins. So people need to start understanding that. So you see some of these videos that I've made, some of these reviews on some of these balls, and you just don't, you say, well, you put a too strong of a layout on it. You got to understand that the cover stock is the most important part of the ball. And you can argue whether it's, whether the bowling ball cover stock is, 80% or 85% of ball motion. I seem to think it's 90%. It's subjective, kind of. I mean, I know there's been some studies and stuff that have been done testing what's the most important part of ball motion and all that, but definitely cover stock is always at the top. That's the part that is actually touching the lane. So you need to understand that those certain little changes in layouts are only changing how the ball goes through the pins. So when you see something like that Supernova kind of burn up as you go left, everybody wants to say, oh, it's just if you put a weaker layout on it, it's going to be better. No, more than likely it actually makes it stop more. It makes it store just a pinch more energy and makes it quicker off the spot, which makes it look like it hooks less. So you miss that. You guys, some of you just need to really pay attention to the minor details here. It has nothing to do with the layout. The bowling ball cover stock and what it's surfaced at is what's going to determine the motion in the first 50 feet of the lane. Everything else is based on layout. Now, yes, a stronger layout can make a difference by a couple of inches, maybe in the middle part of the lane, but not to the point of what you're seeing there. Not to the point of where that Supernova is going to be any different by putting a much different layout. If you want to see the differences, go watch that Empire Pride video I did, where I did 2 different layouts. I did a big first angle at 70 degrees, which puts the mass bias close to my thumb, and then I did one at 25 degrees. And you see the one at 25 degrees goes through the pins better. If anything, there's maybe a couple of inches difference from the big angle one to the short angle one, and people, with your naked eye, you really can't see it. What you see is the difference on how the ball goes through the pins. One was deflecting, one wasn't. I could get to the pocket from all parts of the lane with both balls. They looked pretty much the same all the way through the lane, but the shorter angle ball went through the pins better. Now, does it matter if you do short angles or big angles based on, what kind of core? Sure. Maybe a little bit bigger angle on that Supernova would have done just a little bit better, but I don't know that it would have made all that much of a difference. I think it probably would have been the same, or if anything, would have made it worse for me. Now, bowling balls are obviously different for every single person. No, like this Supernova is not going to react the same for somebody else. Just like I had people on there. I had somebody made a comment on the RSTX3 video, and they said, "Wow, this ball looked good in everybody else's video, and you made it look bad." This is the last video from you all ever watch. Like, the lack of education in this bowling industry in the world is astounding to me. Because it's not like it's stuff that you have to go to school for to learn. Like, you literally can watch videos and learn most of this stuff. If you just watch my videos, you'll know pretty much everything you need to know. Not everything, but you'll know a lot about ball motion, ball reaction, all that stuff. Like the only class I know of really that can truly teach good ball motion would be like Bowl U with Brad Angelo and Rick Benoit. I've heard a lot of good things about their classes about ball motion. So if you wanted to learn angle and entry angle and all that stuff, that's probably a direction you want to go. But if you want to learn all the little details and all this stuff about layouts and all that, just go searching for my videos. You guys will figure it out. These bowling balls, they're not that much different from each other. because the cover stocks are what's making the biggest difference. You know, when it comes to urethane balls, sure, the core then makes a big difference because the cover stocks are just completely different than what an actual reactive bowling ball is. So it's hard to understand or see big differences in reactive versus urethane. When I do small differences in urethane layouts, it does make a difference because those balls react so fast in the front part of the lane, and makes it to where the minor differences of how I position the core in those bowling balls really changes what it does in the middle and the back part, because those balls all hook in the front. You could do this if you want to take a reactive ball and grid it up to like 180, maybe grid it up to 180 and do 2 of them at 180 and do 2 different layouts, then you'll see a big difference. But again, that's still a lot to do with surface. So just keep this in mind when you guys are commenting and making, you know, posts and stuff on these videos. Kind of think about these things. Go back, watch some videos, try to really understand what's being given to you, what's being shown, so then you can really understand how ball motion really is, and know that maybe it's just a ball that doesn't match up for me. That doesn't mean it's not going to match up for you. That's why I talk through it and say, okay, it's going to be okay in certain rev rates, those types of things. But maybe higher rev rate guys aren't going to like it, or maybe lower rev rate guys aren't going to like it, depending on the ball. I will let you know those things. So just pay attention, watch the way the ball goes through the pins, and I think you'll be okay. But you've just got to pay attention to what's being said. So anyway, I'm out of here. I got to get back to working out. I just saw those comments and stuff while I was working out, and I had to comment on it. So we'll see you guys later.